Good morning, all of you. Welcome to Positive Vibes once again. Today, as a continuation of yesterday's class, we are dealing with another chapter, that is federalism. What are the basic features of federalism and what is meant by federalism? Before discussing the features of federalism, first of all, we have to understand what is the basic difference between a unitary form of government and a federal form of government. A unitary form of government is a government which alone rules the whole country. One government only ruling the country, that is called a unitary form of government. But different governments such as central, state and local are ruling the country, that is called federation. One thing, for small countries are concerned, unitary form is more advisable. Big countries like India, USA, federation is better. Now we have to move to the features of federalism. What are the outstanding features of federalism? The first point, there must be two or more levels of government in a federation. Otherwise, it is unitary, only one government only there. There must be two or more levels of government. First point. Second point, the two or more levels of government, they are ruling the same citizens. The citizens are same. Third point, the jurisdiction or the power of these different governments are clearly mentioned in the Constitution. The Constitution describes the powers of these different levels of government. Otherwise, there may be clashes. Suppose, fourth point, if clashes are there, disputes are there among these different levels of governments, they can approach a judiciary or a Supreme Court or a High Court. That is the fourth point. Judiciary is there in federalism. Otherwise, it will not work out. Another point, different source of revenue. Revenue or income, that's very important for the functions of these governments. That's why different source of revenue are there for these different levels of government, such as central, state and local. Then now we have to discuss the basic objectives of the federation. Protect the unity of the country and at the same time protect the social diversities. Safeguard the unity and protect the social diversity. These two are the basic objectives of federation. In such a respect, federalism is different from a unitary form of government. In a unitary form of government, there may not be any type of risk or tension because a single government is ruling the whole country. Some bodies may be there, but they are subordinate to the single government. But in federation, the union government cannot control the state government in all matters, or the state government cannot control the local bodies. The local bodies are autonomous in such a respect. Such a way, the authority is divided among different levels of government to rule a big country. That setup is called federalism. Let us discuss the different types of federation. There are basically two types of federation. They are coming together federation and holding together federation. There is an easy way to understand these. When you are remembering, when you are discussing the coming together federation, just think of United States of America or USA. When you are thinking of holding together federation, think of India. India is the example. Like to study, then it will be very easy. First of all, we have to study the coming together federation. In a coming together federation, independent states, purely independent states join together and form a federation. That is called coming together federation. Actually, that is a real federation because more powers are there for the state governments. The states are independent. America is an example. All the Russian Federation is an example for coming together federation. Australia is an example because these states are very powerful. In some areas, they are joining together and working. But on the other side, in holding together federation, we can see a country itself is divided into small states for the administrative convenience. But the central government is more powerful. They are holding the states. And at the same time, these states are not equally powerful. Some states are more powerful, some states are less powerful. depend on different factors. That is called holding together federation. Holding together federation, example India. In India, different states are not equal. We know till 2019, Jammu and Kashmir was having some special preferences like a separate constitution, separate flag according to the Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. We know some union territories also there in our country, but these union territories are under the direct control of the central government. Example Delhi. Delhi is the national capital, but full status of a state is not there for Delhi. But if you think of Kerala or Tamil Nadu, Pakka states. That's why I told you, holding together federation is really not equally considering all the states alike. They are holding those states to the union. That is why India is not a full federation. That I already told you, it is quasi-federal or semi-federal. The constitution says India is a union of states. Union government is more powerful than the state governments. Let us discuss what makes India a federation. Certain legislative powers, division of legislative powers actually decides India a federation. How India works as a federation or what makes India a federation. Basically, there are three lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. This is a very important area. Union list matters. All union list subjects are directly controlled by the central government or the union government. Only union government can make laws on those subjects, such as defense, foreign policy, other national important areas. Only union government can make law on these subjects. Second one, state list. Some areas are come under the state list. Regarding the state list, only the state government can make law, such as police, irrigation projects. Like so many areas are concerned, the state government is making law. The central government cannot control the state government in these areas. In addition to the three subjects, there is one more subject, that is what is called residuary subjects. These residuary subjects are not fallen under these three lists. Example IT. New subjects are actually come under these residuary subjects. Regarding the residuary subjects, the exclusive right to make law vested under the central government. So these are the divisions of the legislative powers. How the legislative powers are divided among the central and state governments. But one more thing we have to understand. Even the central government wants to make a law on a state subject, they can make it. So listen, central government is very powerful in India. A resolution must have to pass in Rajya Sabha with the two-thirds majority. Even the central government can make law on the state subjects. I think you understood the importance of the central government. Even though India is a federation, we are saying it is a union of states. Let us think how federalism is practiced in India or how it is practicing in India. The first point, linguistic states. To set up a federalism is very difficult. If we are giving more rights to the states, there is a tendency for separatism. If we are holding too much together, there may not be freedom for the states. So it's very difficult to manage federalism in a country. What India did, when we got independence, we made the states on the basis of formed the state on the basis of the language. They are called linguistic states. Language is the base of states formation. We know Kerala Malayalam, Tamil Nadu Tamil. Like on the basis of languages, we form the state. Language basis. And another thing, each language is important. Even though we divided like that, there is no disparity. All the languages are considered equally. That is what is called the linguistic state and the language policy, the second point. Even though Hindi is widely spoken in India, all the other 21 languages are there scheduled in the list, all are equally important. It's not like Sri Lanka. It's somewhat like a Belgium model. In Sri Lanka, one language people they suppressed. In Belgium, they equally share the rights. In India, the states are divided on the basis of language, but there is no discrimination. Our forefathers, the constitutional makers, they were having a very good idea in this respect. That's why there is no issue so far. The third point, central and state relation. At the beginning time, we see the predominance of International Congress as the national party. They were ruling the country for a longer time. So later, after 1990, we saw a lot of regional parties formed in the country. In different parts of India, regional parties formed and the power of the central government reduced. In such a circumstance, we see the coalition government at the center. When one party is not getting majority, some parties joining together and form the government. That is what is called the coalition government. Because of this coalition government and all, now the authority of the central government is decreased, and the state governments, because of the regional parties, they became more powerful. But the situation now again changed. Now we can see the predominance of BJP as the national party at the center. For the last two elections, they got majority alone. But even though they formed a coalition that is called National Democratic Alliance, that is a ruling coalition in our country, and the opposition under the leadership of Congress, that is UPA, United Progressive Alliance. Now we have to discuss the topic decentralization in India. What is meant by decentralization? Even though India is a federation, there was not that much decentralization. 1992 Act just laid the foundation of decentralization in India. Decentralization means the authority from the central government must be given more to the state governments and the local bodies. So when decentralization is there, the local bodies, they are getting more powers from the central government and state governments. They will become autonomous. When the decentralization is introduced in India, a lot of features are there on the basis of the 1992 Act. They are these. First point, more powers of the central government and state governments are given to the local bodies, such as urban local government and rural local government. Second point, there are regular elections for these local bodies. Then, State Election Commission, a separate body of election commission, is dealing with the election of the local bodies. 1/3 of the seats are reserved for women, and at the same time, reservation of seats are there for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward communities for the local bodies election. And at the same time, the most important point is that more powers are taken from the central government and state governments and given to these local bodies. They are autonomous bodies. That is the basis of this decentralization. We can say that this decentralization is on the basis of two important bills, Panchayati Raj and Nagarapalika bill. Now we are going to discuss that. Let us discuss about the local bodies, or the third layer of the government. The local bodies or the local self-government are two. First one, urban local government, and the second one, rural local government. Urban local government means the local government at the cities, in towns. They are basically municipal corporations and municipalities. Regular elections are there for the municipal corporations and the municipalities. The head of the municipal corporation is mayor. The head of the municipality, that is the municipal commissioner. So in city or in towns, municipal corporation and the municipalities are there. Municipal corporations are big towns and the small towns come under municipality. Let's come to rural local government. Rural local government is otherwise called Panchayati Raj system. Here we can see a three-tier structure: Grama Panchayat, Block Panchayat, and Jilla Parishad. So elections are there in all these bodies. In Grama Panchayat, in Block Panchayat is always called Panchayat Samiti. Then Jilla Panchayat or District Panchayat. This rural local government is otherwise called Panchayati Raj system. In urban local government, we can see a bill passed in the parliament, Nagarapalika bill, that is led with the urban local government. Anyway, when these autonomous bodies are in function, more powers of the central government and state governments are given to these bodies, and these bodies are functioning very, very well. That is the real democracy. So democracy is really functioning, and the authority is coming to the people with the third layer of the means power That is what is the local self-government. Now we know in India the local self-governments are very powerful. We don't want to go to the central government or state government to get some needs. We can go to the local body and fulfill our needs. The lowest body, the lowest legislature body in this regard is Gram Sabha. You know, a Grama Panchayat is divided into different wards. In each ward, there is a legislature body that is called Grama Sabha. The Grama Sabha will decide the things of that particular group of people, like a parliament, like the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. These are the things we have to understand from this chapter. If you like this video, share and subscribe. Coming days, I will upload more chapters. Thank you very much for your support and opinion. We can see tomorrow with another video, another chapter from Positive Vibes, Nishad Lallu. Thank you. Thanks so much.